This story is entitled My First Paranormal Experience. I don't know what year it was, but I was 9 years old at the time. Growing up, me and my sister had shared a room together, and we had twin beds. My oldest sister had already moved out of the house and was married, and they lived nearby, but my brother had his own room, and he left and went to college. So when he went to college, I moved out of the room that I shared with my sister, and it was literally on the other side of the wall. The bed was up against the wall, and my room was right next to the room I moved out of. Well, one day, my sister had a friend over, and I don't know, they were having a slumber party or whatever was going on. And she was like, she was 2 years older than me, so I was 9, she was about 11. And she had her friend Penny over, and they were playing games, playing dolls or whatever they were doing. I didn't know, but I was in my room reading my comic books and watching TV, and I was sitting on my bed, and I heard very loud screams from both of them, and I felt them bouncing up against the wall next to me. And I'm like, what are you doing? So I opened my door. I got out of the bed. I walked around to the door, opened the door, and their door was immediately to my left. So I opened the door, I swung it open, and I peeked inside. And there's a little partition on the left side of the door of the room as you come in. And on the other side of that partition, where there was a chest of drawers standing. And I walked around the edge of the chest of drawers, and I didn't see them in the bed, so I looked back, and they were both in the corner on the bed to the left that was up against the wall, right on the other side of my room. And they were both in the corner, screaming at the top of their lungs, kicking their feet. They were already in the corner as far as they could get, and they were still kicking their feet like they could get further and further, but they were already pinned up against the wall. And I'm like, what are you doing? And both of them at the exact same time pointed at the other bed. I looked over, and there was a head impression in the pillow and a body impression in the bed, and there was no one there, and it was moving. Now I was still close to the door, so I could have turned and left the room, but I didn't want to leave them both in there with whatever this was. So I don't know why, but something made me. I ran as fast as I could towards the bed and dove in the air and landed on the bed. What happened was my body was freezing. I was face down in the pillow and on top of whatever it was. It went through me and froze my insides. It froze me from the front to the back as I felt it pass through my body. I turned, and there was a piece of paper on the floor. This piece of paper raised up off of the floor and floated gently towards the window. The window was open about 1.5 to 2 inches. And when the paper got to the window slammed shut and the paper floated to the ground. And just as the window slammed shut, there was a sound outside the window. as it faded into the night. We all looked at each other with disbelief and were screaming at each other and saying, "What was that?"